Oh, what a rough night at the ballpark, honey.
Oh my goodness, man. It's been brutal. I mean, you sit there and watch last night. At least last couple nights have had the excitement, and you've had the opportunity. Graham Ashcraft comes in, and you feel the adrenaline of Emilio Pagan 2 nights ago, and Ashcraft you think can get one done last night, and then you turn into another. I mean, this is what, the seventh time we're going to be shut out in a year.
Yeah, it's not easy to watch. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Nope, and it starts at the top of the order, man. It's unbelievable, and I'm seeing it in the chat here already. Pain.
It is putrid.
Pain. He's exactly right.
Yep.
What a boring team. Yeah, no, you're exactly right, man. I completely agree 100%. We're gonna sit here and watch his ninth inning, and the deal still stands. We're down 3 runs. There's a cooler full of beer right about here. You're looking on the screen. We're shotgunning beers. I'll give one for every run we score if we happen to bring up and tie this up.
Yeah. This can make for a real interesting ninth inning. I'm kind of hoping we do this now.
Oh, our recap would be legit on the other side of this thing. Let me tell you. Oh, man. Yeah, listening to Cowboy and or actually it was Welshie and Tommy Thrall on the radio for the most part tonight before I had a chance to come back about the 5th inning. I was walking around Kings Island with my AM/FM radio piece in, so kind of hearing a different angle of it. Though, I mean, it's pretty hopeless on that end too. Like at least Tommy Thrall can usually paint a pretty good picture,
right?
Yeah, Tommy's pretty tired too.
Yeah, you can tell. We were talking about it on the show the other day about giving props to our broadcasting crew, and I definitely wanted to give a shout out to Tommy Thrall too, man. Those guys Tommy's so good, man.
He really is. He's smooth. They legitimately get into those trivia questions every game, and he puts Cowboys' mind in a pretzel every time.
Wraps him up in it every time.
You sure you want to stay with that? Wait a
minute. Leave it up.
Cheddar.
Spear strikes out on a high fastball.
That did hit a ball 106 mile an hour, or 104 tonight. So
yeah, it's like 103.5.
Yeah, like Trey said, in his last 7 days, in his last 5 plate appearances, he does have one really hard hit ball.
There weren't very many hard hit ones to choose from tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's not the. We can't include. So we're dragging down the name of Cincinnati Reds catchers by including him in this mix. I'm just throwing it out there.
You're exactly right.
It's the Austin Wins and Jose Trevino show. It's not this guy.
Yeah, we haven't struggled this much in the catcher's position for the first 4 weeks when he was on the IL.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
It really is.
It really is hard.
Well, it's hard to even pinpoint his approach. What are you even looking for? I mean, some of the swings are just so bad.
No, I feel like this is looking at strike 3 because Hader's going to throw the one thing that he's not looking for. There's the fastball. So now it's slider to the back foot probably and wipes him away.
Right. Something to change the eye level here.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Come on, just get lucky.
Yeah, through the slider, through the changeup, went to the back foot, but didn't wipe him out. Come on, just get something.
We need base runners
to the plate. Yeah,
we need base runners.
Hey,
there it is. Got into one. Get in the gap.
There.
Get in the gap. Let's go.
Oh no. Oh,
all right. In there with a double.
Yeah, stay there. Stay there.
All right.
We don't need
That's
to
a
move.
good start. That's a good start.
All right. Let's do this. It's a short porch out there in left, man. This team has 2 hits through 5, no runs. They do not come back or get more hits. Yeah, you're exactly right, Pat.
Yeah. Hard to argue with that.
As a referee, you call him like you see him, Pat. I like it. I like it. No, Cory and I were kind of talking about that before we jumped on as well. It's one of those, zero gumption in this team. Zero huevos. Zero fight and come off the mat. Like there's the comeback behind or come from behind stats or the games that we lose when we don't score first is not good. Not good. Let's see if Reese could make the score box look a little better here. Those Crawford boxes aren't that far out there, man. One thing I did disagree with Tommy tonight, though. He was talking about how he liked that ballpark and he liked it and he loved it. Yeah, it's worked down there for a couple years in Houston, and that is not a very nice ballpark.
Really?
It's really not. Like the indoor thing's nice. Don't get me wrong. Like being able to know what the temperature is going to be and what time everything's starting, never having to worry about a rain out. Like that's solid. But you went to Globe Life with me, the Rangers one.
Yeah.
The new one over there in Arlington. That is done well. That is a bigger scale of what they've got. Like Houston kind of confined themselves into the downtown area, whereas Globe Life had the room to build out and expand. Every walkway in this place feels like dark and dirty. Like it just,
right.
You know that you're inside when you're walking through the atriums and things. It just, they don't feel like they use the natural light very well. Not to mention there's not a bunch of it because there's skyscrapers all over the place.
Right.
So, and on the very rare occasion that they do open the roof, I mean, those are cool. But yeah, no, that's, I mean, it's not a terrible ballpark. It's just, it's not one of my favorites that I've been to. Actually got a chance to see a World Series game there. Watched Juan Soto crush their dreams that year when he was with the Nats.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a hell of a run. That was a lot of fun down there. That series went 7.
Had it been a fun atmosphere?
Mm-hmm.
We ain't seen an atmosphere like that since the 90s.
Yeah. It does get fun with in the juice box. It does get loud in there. What used to be the juice box.
Leave it.
Now we got 2 outs. We got a runner on second. Down 3-0 for those that aren't watching live. Hope and pray here, but looks like another abysmal night where Reds aren't going to score any runs. I mean, it's the same song and dance.
Yeah, it really is. It gets to be exhausting after a while. And it's hard. It's hard when you got to do the post-game shows when night after night it's the same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, what happened tonight? They didn't hit. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let me guess. You got a good pitching performance and you couldn't do anything to capitalize it. Oh, imagine that.
Right? Oh, shocker. Hey, you know what's great, though? We've got dudes we've got Will Benson, Reese Hines, Jacob Hurtubise, and Blake Dunn. You got all those 4A outfielders. You know what's going to push us over the edge? A 5th one.
Connor Joe.
Good God. Makes me freaking sick. But hey, maybe a 4A outfielder is what we need to play first base.
Yeah, very well. Can't be any worse, that's for sure.
No, man.
Come on, Santiago. Get into one. Let's turn this lineup over one time, see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it proved very well today, but I do like having a good contact guy right there in the 9-hole.
Oh,
you were talking about with the Friedl approach and all that, having good contact right there in the 9 to flip the lineup over does make you feel a little bit better about it, but you wouldn't know it by tonight's game.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, at some point in time, your 9-game winning streak against the Houston Astros is going to come to an end. So you get this one out of the way. There it goes. And that's going to do it. Santiago Espinal swings at ball 2. We will see you guys here in just a couple minutes on the other side of this thing. We're going to recap it and get everything ready to go. You've got myself, Eric Phillips, and my brother Cory T in for the night, but we'll see y'all here in just a few.
For the second time in his major league career,
Well, welcome in, everybody. I'm Eric Phillips. I'm here with my brother Cory T. Phillips, and we're here to recap a Reds loss tonight. Reds go down 3-0 in Houston to the Astros. It is the fifth time our Cincinnati Redlegs have been shut out this year. And by my calculations, now that they sit at 19-21 after 40 games, that makes it 12.5% of the games that we've played. We've been shut out and not been able to push a run across the plate. Was there a Cy Young contender on the mound tonight? No. It was our boy,
Hunter Brown.
Hunter Brown. I was getting ready to call him Hank. I'm seeing H Brown on here, and Hank is what's coming to mind. I know it's not it. So Hunter Brown throws it against us tonight. He goes 5.2 innings of no-run baseball before the bullpen comes in. Eventually, Josh Hader gets the save. But Nick Martinez starts for the Reds, gives a decent outing, goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs. We flip that over to the bullpen. Brent Suter does a great job of getting through a couple of innings. I think he saved some arms tonight, so hopefully you're ready to go for the last 2 games of this series. But all in all, another offensive struggle. You give up 3 runs, you think you've got a chance. That's a little bit more of a right-handed hitter-friendly ballpark than what we normally play in. So I love the opportunities that we had in front of us tonight. I thought this was going to be the one that we get. But it's the same song and dance again. The top of your lineup doesn't produce. We've got guys sitting in the 2 and 3 hole that we are looking at as stalwarts. I know Nick and Trace were a little apprehensive to go in on Elly last night. I'm not as apprehensive. I'm wanting to treat him like a superstar and hold him to a little higher standard than that. But that's just me. The numbers say that he's an average shortstop right now in Major League Baseball. Now, athletically, is he? No. Defensively, the plays that he makes that others can't. But he makes another error tonight in the field. It doesn't lead to anything, but at the same time, it's just another night where Elly makes a mistake and the Reds end up losing a ball game. So don't know where the focus is, don't know where the leadership is. I think tonight, for a rundown standpoint, we're going to get into offensive ineptness. We'll get into the leadership of this team overall and what players we think are actually driving the ship. We did have some moves before the game internally, and then as the game broke, we actually. You got me there, T?
Yeah, I got you now. I'm not sure what happened there. We froze up for a second.
We went we went 0 dark 30 there for a minute. No, just talking about our rundown tonight's going to be offensive ineptness. Then we're going to get into the leadership of this team. Then we'll kick it over to the transactions that happened before the game, who went up, who came down, and then we'll talk about the Connor Joe news that broke during the game. But if you want to get us with a box score recap, tell us how tonight went, and then we'll get into it.
There really wasn't much of one for the box score recap as far as that's concerned. Just another night of offensive ineptness, followed by a good, compounded with a good pitching performance by Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez had the most Nick Martinez first inning I think I've ever seen. He gave up 2 hits and still faced the minimum. That was kind of a decent start. But then who was it? Zach DeZenzo. He's a Buckeye. He singled home a run in the 2nd inning, making it 1-0. And the only other scoring after that, they scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, making it 3-0. And then after that, it was a lot of sitting twiddling your thumbs and waiting for this offense to get on board, and it never did come around. So decent night for Nick Martinez. What was his final line? 6 innings pitched. He did give up 10 hits, three earned runs, but no walks and 5 Ks. So the no walks and 5 Ks, another solid pitching performance. But like you say, here we are sitting here twiddling our thumbs with another donut on the board from the offense, and the offensive ineptness is it's obviously driving everybody crazy. But I'm not sure what we've got to do to start getting our hitting approach a little bit different. But the Lake and the boys have got to start getting their stuff off the schneid, because it's getting hard to watch. I mean, I'll be honest with you. We do a post game Red show. We're diehards, and the whole night, and it's still hard to watch. It's definitely getting to be dark days right now, man. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, when you take a look at, here's the batting averages of the starting 9 tonight. We go 170, 182, 187, 258, 272, 298, 316, and 365. So in those guys, you've got Austin Hayes leading the charge. You've got Jose Trevino leading the charge. Gavin Lux hitting 298. But at the top of your order, and Mr. TJ Friedl, you're at 272. Then it drops down to 170 in Matt McClain, and then 270 or 258 in Elly De La Cruz. It's an abysmal performance. You don't have any leadership. There's zero idea of everybody waits on somebody else to do it. Hell, even Tito, it took Cotham getting ejected last night before he finally showed enough emotion to get himself run when this dude throws his knee down in front of second base. There's no animation there. I don't know if it's Tito or where it's coming from, but there's zero leadership here. I saw one guy in the comments say our leadership's in Kansas City. Maybe that's the case. Maybe Jonathan India was a hell of a lot more of an important piece to this thing than what we're leading ourselves to believe. And Brady Singer coming back is great. And he's been a good arm for us, and hopefully he can get things going tomorrow and we can get back on the right track. But for right now, we're looking around at a bunch of young guys, and everybody seems to be playing well, if you do it, I'll do it. We do this thing where we score in bunches, and these guys, I've heard Spencer Steer say hitting is contagious. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. 8 of you are in the dugout, 1 of you's at the plate. This isn't a contagious thing. It's
obviously not
yes.
hitting is also contagious too. It seems
God.
like. Well, and that's the thing about this roster, man. When you look at this roster as a whole, you've got guys like Gavin Lux, Jose Trevino, Austin Hayes leading the charge and giving you consistent performances night in and night out, at least giving you professional performances night in and night out. Where do those guys come from? They come from the Yankees. They come from the Dodgers. They come from legitimate programs that actually know how to play. You get guys that are in our program, the second we get down a run, it's tuck your tail in between your legs and run. And I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. That's the difference between a good franchise and a bad franchise. Guys like Gavin Lux and Jose Trevino are hitting 7 and 8 and 9 holes for decent teams. Instead, they're hitting fourth for the Reds, trying to carry a squad that there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And I'm sick of it, man. It's driving me crazy.
Well, and we talk about the leadership of it all. Tell me what was the calling card for this group of people that were coming in? He knows how to get the best out of players. Who in the hell on this team is playing their best baseball right now? Yeah. Honestly, who's playing it? We've seen Elly play better. We've seen Matt McClain play better. I've seen a better Will Benson. I've seen a better Reese Hines. We've seen better of each one of these guys. Somehow we don't have the bet. Maybe TJ Friedl you could throw in there. Jose Trevino's there. I don't think Gavin Lux is playing his best baseball anymore. I think his best baseball was, a couple weeks ago when he was our best hitter on the team. That average is slowly coming back down to earth. It's now back under 300 where it, rightfully probably should be. But at the same time, if you're going to be a leader of men, pull people up. That, everybody got the goosebumps and, oh, I love it. Oh, and they're saying all the right things. Oh, Elly wants to be, I want Elly to be the best player on the best team in baseball. The hell with that, man. How about just being a player that wins ball games? Elly's won us one series. The series where he had his own bobblehead night and hits the grand slam. That's the Elly De La Cruz. That's the electricity. That's the excitement. That's the get off your couch and go watch somebody. Getting shut out 12.5% of your games, 40 games into the season. That's not exciting baseball. That's hope and pray.
Yep.
And our hopes and prayers are never answered in this capacity. We know this game. Like, we've seen this go down this slope. Right. We're 2 games under 500. You may not. It's not crazy to think that we're not kissing 500 anymore. The schedule doesn't get any easier. The rest of this month, you've got the White Sox next, but then you've got the Guardians, who we never play well against, the Pirates, who we exercised that demon before, but then you've got the Cubs. Then you get into Kansas City and then Chicago again. The rest of this month, if you go 500, that's great. Like, if you can get yourself back to 500. But eventually the gauntlet of the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Padres, those guys are all coming. They're all still sitting out there waiting and licking their chops, waiting for their opportunity to come and feast on what we've got here. Because they know they can throw their number 4, number 5 pitcher like Houston did tonight. That's their number 4 guy. And he comes out and throws a damn shutout against us. And it's the 5th time this year. Yeah.
I
everybody sits around and waits on somebody else to do it. There's nobody that's a jump starter. Somebody get run. Somebody get ejected. Somebody do something that gets this thing going. Reese Hines felt like he had a very important part of this season when he puts that ball over the fence the other night. We get up 2 runs, and then Graham struggles and things fall apart. The tail between your legs, the sad pup of a beaten dog is what a lot of these prospects look like. and that is I've been hurt before. I don't want to fall in love with trying to win baseball games again because I've been hurt before. Like all these guys, that's all these dudes know is losing right now. Spencer Steer's never been on a winning baseball team. Elly De La Cruz has never been on a winning baseball team. Who else am I going with here? Blake
Any of our
Dunn,
homegrown guys, yeah.
Will Benson, Resign. None of these guys have played winning baseball before. Tito has. And so I'm going to throw a lot of this back on the manager's feet. Get the best out of these guys in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's we change the hitting approach, you go bury a baseball, you go have a bender at the casino. I don't give a damn what it is. But something's got to change because getting beat like this, it's embarrassing. It makes me feel like a freaking moron watching this team and hoping for anything else.
No doubt. And I understand wanting to throw it at Tito's feet. I completely understand that. But at some point, it's got to come back on some of the ownership and some of the moves that we're making to put a decent roster outside. I mean, we're scrambling for first baseman. We're scrambling for outfielders. We're scrambling for this. We're scrambling for that. You don't walk into a subpar restaurant that has a subpar menu and order a subpar dinner and then be mad at the chef. No, you'd be mad at the owner for putting the crap out there in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So I get that everybody wants to throw it at Tito's feet, and Tito should be doing this, and Tito is a world beater. By the same token, when the ingredients aren't great, it's hard to make a 5-star meal. You know what I mean?
No, and I'm there with you, and that's where you've got a guy, you had an ace in Hunter Green, and we do get the news today that he goes on the 15-day IL, and they bring back Chase Petty, but with Hunter Green, you've got an ace of the staff, you've got a starting pitching rotation that's there. You've got to figure out a way to make these prospects put the bat on the ball and with enough consistency to get 4 runs a night, because 4 runs a night wins you. I think I looked it up the other day. If the Reds had just scored 4 runs every single night instead of getting shut out 5 times like they already have, we are, I think, 8 games above 500 if that's the case. And so in doing that, like, you've got to figure out a way to shuffle something up, and it starts with the consistency of ineptness, and that's in your 2 and 3 hole. Matt and Elly don't produce another run tonight. It's been 2 weeks since Elly's taken over a ball game and been the Elly, electric De La Cruz. Run DLC isn't a thing because DLC doesn't get on. Like, we're 1 for 4 every night. He'll slap one through the other side. He hit a ball hard tonight late in the game that was a fly out to center field that had an opportunity. I think he's second in baseball in ground ball percentage. That's gross, man. It's gross. I don't know what we've got to do to get this guy some more lift and actually start playing some long ball. It doesn't get any worse. These guys talked about it a little bit last night with Trace and Nick. What's the problem with playing Will Benson over? What are you going to do? Strike out worse? Like, what's Jake Friedl giving you that Will Benson can't without the upside of being able to actually hit a ball over the fence every once in a while?
Right. Well, Trace and those guys were even talking about it last night. You were talking about scoring 4 runs on a regular basis. Just give me a week where we're scoring 4 to 8 runs on a regular basis. You don't want to go too much, but you don't want to go not enough either, because every once in a while we break out those 24-run games, those 14-run games, and then we can't score for a week. How about a little run consistency? Let's go anywhere between 4 and 8 for a week. Man, that sounds great. It'll look a lot better than these donuts we're throwing up. That's for sure.
And that's the donuts with consistency, the 1 runs with consistency, the guys on base, the runners in scoring position, like just everything of where we're hitting. It's you put Elly in the 3 hole because you want him to be a producer. Guess what? He's not producing. He's batting .212 with runners in scoring position on the year. Like, he's got the grand slam. We're all going to remember that on bobblehead night. That's a pivotal moment that is going to reign true, and everybody's going to think that Elly's still that guy. He's not. Elly can't deliver what you need him to be there. You need a more professional guy with more contact, because Elly's getting set up from time to time. TJ Friedl's been on a little bit of a tear. Espinal hitting in the 9 hole with contact is getting guys in front of him. Matt McClain's been god-awful. And at some point in time, you have to make a tough decision as to whether or not Matt McClain needs to be here right now, or if Matt McClain needs to go re-find himself after the injuries and things like that have set him aside. But now that we're here, you've got Elly hitting in this 3 hole that it doesn't make any sense. It absolutely. We need him to get on and create the chaos so that Austin Hayes can see better pitches. Maybe Tyler Stevenson, if he gets his head out of his butt here soon, can see better pitches. Gavin Lux can see better pitches. We need somebody on base that creates that, not TJ Friedl gets on, McClain strikes out, Elly strikes out, and then Hayes hits a fly ball out there, and Friedl never even sniffs third base. because that feels like what happens every time. One guy gets a hit or one guy gets on, but it's either with 2 outs or we've got a batter coming up that strikes out with a high frequency and the inning's over anyway. Like, you just don't trust it to make contact. Let's talk about runners on second and third and less than 2 outs. Who do you actually trust to put the bat on the ball and not strike out? Who would you feel better sending up there right now?
Santiago Espinal.
I would maybe put Jose Trevino in there for the contact. Right. I don't know what the contact's going to be, because there is bad contact. But everybody else on this team strikes out at a rate that you can't trust to put them in the lineup.
Right. Well, and if you tell me before the season started, those were the two we're going to have to count on for contact, you already know you're in trouble. So, and it's the season's looking like it is looking. So, when you got to lean on Jose Trevino and Santiago Espinal, your lineup's not in very good shape at all.
And I'm seeing a chat here from WTI Trader. It says, or no, it wasn't from him. It was from Ohio Red 45. It says, it doesn't matter where Elly hits in the lineup. It absolutely matters where Elly hits in the lineup, because if Elly's not hitting third, that means Matt McLain's not hitting second. And if Matt McLain's not hitting second, you take 170 out of the top of your lineup. The cat's terrible right now. He can't hit. He's not this gritty, personable, we love this guy, oh my God, he just feels right anymore. That lasted for like half a season. Then he turned into glass and he can't stay healthy. And then when he comes back, he doesn't hit. Matt McLain's not a good baseball player right now. Matt McLain's a good defensive second baseman. Matt McLain's a ninth inning luxury to this freaking Los Angeles Dodgers right now. He's a defensive replacement at best.
Yeah, sounds like you're getting a little down on yourself, E.
I'm out of it, man. I'm going off the deep end. But Kirby brought it up last night, man. Like he Kirby goes nuclear, and all of a sudden we see Will Benson and both Dunn and Hurtubise go down.
Right.
Make waves. Cut it up, clip it, tweet it, whatever you got to do. Do something differently. If I find out that they're in Houston and they go figure out like wherever James Harden used to hang out down there and they party their asses off tonight and then they come out and score 10 tomorrow, I will be the happiest man on the planet. I cannot wait to sit down here tomorrow and absolutely celebrate the fact that these guys did something different, because they're going to go back to the hotel and they're going to say the same stuff in the post game. Oh, we think we're close and we had good approaches. We just didn't see enough and couldn't get it right there. And you're going to excuse your way into being 5 games under at the All-Star break, and this team's not going to be relevant in July. They keep talking about, we see more things about going down to Bristol and playing Atlanta in August. That game's not going to mean anything. Yeah. If we keep going this way. You've played a shit schedule, a poop schedule to this point. Apologies. You've played a terrible schedule to this point, and you're 2 games under. It's not good, man. It's not going to be it. It's not where we wanted our 2025 Cincinnati Reds to be.
Not the momentum you wanted to carry into the toughest part of the schedule. That's for sure. But,
yeah, and even if you do see it, I mean, we haven't seen many aces here lately. You know what I mean? Like, we've not seen top end guys, and so I'm trying to figure out, like, even if we do get hot and we start to win some of these 1-run ball games, like what happens when we see some of these top, like Kershaw's hurt right now, but when you see some of these top end pitchers, Tariq Skubal or something like that from Detroit, what happens when we see those guys? We can't. Hunter Brown shuts us out. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
I will flip it to a lighter note, though. Michael Roth, thank you so much for the super chat, man. He says, happy Mother's Day, Eve. All the moms out here. Reds are 12-3 on Mother's Day, according to AI. Seems like AI is ranked grossly low on total Mother's Day games, but hey, we trust ChatGPT too, man. We get a lot of stats from there. I will wholeheartedly say I am not the best at diving into Baseball Reference and Fangraphs, nor do I really like to. But there are numbers that I want to see, like Elly's runner in scoring positions and things like that. But it is Mother's Day Eve. And so make sure, if we're the reason why you remembered, like, oh damn, I gotta go into the store and get my mom something. Hopefully we saved you the embarrassment on Sunday of showing up empty-handed. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and we'll make sure we repeat that again tomorrow night. But yeah, it's rough. But you want to get into the transactions for today? What happened within our organization before we get into Connor, Joe?
Oh, what we sent down? What did we do? We sent down Jacob Hurtubise and Blake Dunn, and called back up Chase Petty and Will Benson, which I honestly thought we might see Will Benson in the lineup tonight, but we did not. But my man is playing really well right now. He's hitting the ball well and AAA like he has been all year long. I made the joke that I think we should petition Major League Baseball to let Will Benson wear his his Bats jersey while he's playing with the Reds. Whatever we got to do to keep my man hitting hot. I mean, he's 289 right now. He does have 7 home runs. He's got an 898 OPS. So my man's playing lights out, but got to get the strikeouts down. 121 plate appearances. He's got 40 strikeouts. So got to get the strikeouts down. But I think calling Benson up is the right move. And I want to see a bounce back game from Chase Petty. He had a really good outing in his last outing. Had eight strikeouts, only 3 walks over 6 innings, 0 earned runs. So really looking forward to getting Chase Petty back on the mound and seeing a bounce back from him, because I think that guy's got the fire we're looking for. He could definitely going to be an option later in the year.
Yeah, I mean, I see facetiously Red Dog saying, "Yeah, Will Benson will fix everything." I mean, we ain't looking. This is we're just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic here. That's all we're doing. That's what it feels like anyway. And what do we do with 4A outfielders? We go and get a 5th, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's how we fix the organization. Connor Joe will make things all better. Now, I think the Will Benson move is important. I think it starts to tell you where the frustration lies within the walls of the organization. I think you have to kind of read the tea leaves on the moves that are being made. Connor Joe primarily plays first base now when he was in the Padres organization, and he's played first base in the past, and we have a struggling first baseman. If we want to mention him, we can, but he's hitting 187, and his initials are SS, and he should have not been on the opening day roster from the jump, as Trace and Nick have alluded to. But with Connor Joe coming in, it's a pretty immediate fill as to where our struggles are right now. Elly Marte's out for a significant period of time, so Santiago Espinal is probably your everyday third baseman. So you can't really push Matt McLean right now. Like, you don't have another backup infielder that can give him time outside of maybe Gavin Lux. But getting these outfield guys, having 2 lefty, 2 righty on the bench or on the roster right now, and Benson and Friedl from the left-hand side, and then Hayes and Reese Hines from the right-hand side. You've got these platoons that are going to play around TJ Friedl that hopefully frees up Gavin Lux to just primarily play the infield. And maybe he can start to give Matt McLean a spell while we try to get things figured out, because putting me in the game every day is not helping Matt McLean. It's not. Like, we're not busting out of this slump. We're not turning around. We're not seeing a different approach. We're striking out more than he ever has in his career. And by the way, 7 home runs would lead the Reds by 2. Our team leader is at 5 right now. So 7 home runs on the year. I'm all for it. But yeah, that transaction log today was interesting to see, to say the least. So you get those guys back. Chase Petty probably going to slot in for where Hunter Green was. You said he had a decent outing last time out.
Yeah, 6 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, and 3 walks. So my man's making a bounce back.
Yeah, and so, I mean, to go out and get shelled in your major league debut, you hope that's nerves. I was in the ballpark that night. It was a little chilly. And so I feel terrible for the kid and the way things that got started. Like, he was never comfortable I think from the first batter of the game that reached, and then from the stretch, and then it just all kind of unraveled later. And then he gives up the long ball, and, things go south. But he's picked it back up. He's got a start under his belt. I would like to see him probably start on the road, honestly. I would like to see him. We come back home. Would he be Sunday? Is he lined up for Sunday in Houston?
Petty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
So he's going to get a chance to throw on the road with this team.
I've seen it,
start to develop into somebody that we can rely on for at least a couple of weeks.
I've actually seen it in both ways. I think Baseball Savant had him scheduled for Sunday, but then I saw where Abbott was scheduled for Sunday too. So I'm really still kind of up in the air who the Sunday starter is. I've seen it both ways.
Yeah, because you got Brady Singer tomorrow, and that will be a 7:10 game. Just scheduling heads up, they are not starting that at 8:10 like they did tonight. That is a 7:10 start tomorrow, and you'll have Brady Singer there. Yeah, and then if they decide to throw him on Sunday, that's great. If not, we'll see him at home. They get the off day, and then they come back and you start a series with the White Sox. That, man, now we're going to get back to optimistic, Eric. I want to get back into trying to feel good. You win these next 2 games, you come home 500. You come home 500, and you've got the White Sox that you should be licking your chops at, and then you get the Guards in town. The Guards have played better baseball in the past. They're playing decent baseball right now, but they're definitely beatable. I believe they're without their top. I think Bibby just went on the IL again, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, hopefully you miss him, but it's one of those. There's more winnable games coming up. You've got 3 against the White Sox. Figure out a way to get at least 1 here in Houston, sweep the White Sox, and you get yourself back to 500. Like there's paths to this thing that hopefully this team can see, because if you're not around 500 with those weak of a schedule as we've had, there's really no urgency from anywhere. Like unless there's a big splash move for a big right-handed bat, I don't see what it is that this team can do to get that jolt, because without the opportunity at the playoffs and without meaningful baseball for these guys, you're kind of just resetting the thing next year, and you're playing on hopes and dreams rather than experience. I want meaningful baseball down the stretch. If we make the playoffs, great. I want these guys to see playoffs. I want to see them be in a chase for a playoff spot in September. So that way there's legitimate pressure on every at bat and every pitch and every inning. So that way we can start to figure out who can and who can't. If you have dudes that can, how many dudes would you say right now can rise to the occasion?
The potential's definitely there. I mean, I'm not down. I'm saying, yeah. Oh, absolutely, it's definitely there, man. This is baseball. It's 162 games. Calm down, man. You're ready to jump off a cliff. It's only May 10th, man. Calm down. It's all good. What is it? May 9th, I guess I should say. It'll be all right, man. I'm down in the dumps too, man. But by the same token, to say that we're ready to throw in the towel and season's over in the whole 9 yards, give these guys a second, man. They're still major league ball players. We've seen what they can do. So don't jump off the cliff on me yet, man. It sounds like you might need our guys at 988. So now's a good time to remind you that we always want to remind you you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide Crisis Hotline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with the care, or anything in between. 988 is a 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988. Visit mantherapy.org. It's okay not to be okay.
Would you guys trade the Reds losing every game the rest of this season in exchange for a guarantee that Burrow, Chase, Higgins, and Hendrickson would be healthy for every game this season? I would. Michael Rolfe, you're asking the wrong guy. You will notice there's a lack of black and orange back here. I do live in Cincinnati. I am not from Cincinnati. I did grow up a diehard Reds fan. Our dad made us our dad took us to Reds games, took us to Buckeye football games. Did not take us to many NFL games because his team was in Miami. He was a Miami Dolphins fan. Corey comes up a Bengals fan. I came up on the other side of the river. I am actually a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna put that out. Yeah, the chat just give me all the boos, all the F's in the chat. Like, it's over. To hell with this guy. Get him out of here. Get this bum out of here. I'm telling you right now, I can bleed this red for the Reds as hard as I can. If I get to pick one championship out of the teams that I root for, it would absolutely be for this team, because one, I've never seen it. I was 3 when they won in 90. And so it's one of those, I want this team so badly to be a winner because I'm close to it. We're going to a lot of games now. Corey, I get the chance to bring you guys down. I get to take Dad to games now. Like, being in the ballpark, being around these guys, and I've met a lot of these players. Like, they're really good dudes. I want so bad for them. But to see what they've become here to this point in the season, it just there's so much left to be expected. Like, they've fallen short of expectations to the point of frustration. And it can very quickly turn around. I mean, we've seen this team get hot and get on a 5-game heater. I think this time last week, one of the guys said, "Don't let the Reds get hot," and I said, "It's too late." No, you're right. Don't let the Reds get
yeah, no doubt.
They didn't let us get hot. Don't worry. We're still waiting on that to turn around. But
I've even seen a couple guys in the chat. Our guy Optimistic John was even talking about, there's a time to turn the page to Bengals season. It's like, I don't want to be there quite yet, but don't want to rush through it. But I am excited to see what Joe and the boys have to offer this season. It's going to be fun as long as we can get this defense figured out. But I kind of feel like we're watching the exact opposite with the Cincinnati Reds. We got pretty good defense and can stop guys from scoring, but can't get the scoring ourselves, which is the complete opposite of what goes on Sundays in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's weirdly, it's funny that we talk about football in this situation, because I was sitting there talking about it. The kid from Houston that hits the ball, he's the Buckeye, DeCenzo. I actually sat next to him in Atlanta at the national championship game.
Nice.
And had a chance to talk with him. Super nice guy. He's a Buckeye. He's actually from Canton, Ohio. Went to Marlington High School, just outside of Alliance. And super nice guy. Really happy for him. We collected a lot of his rookie cards because he is a Buckeye. But in doing so, I got to thinking, like, where does this, like, who are we in college football? If you just want to cross fan, what kind of fan is a Cincinnati Reds fan in college football? And the only thing I could think of was like Indiana. Like you got this shiny new head coach that you think is going to do a bunch of great things, and then all of a sudden you actually play competition and it turns to hell. Like you can put it out there and you're boastful and, oh, look at this, we've got Elly, and oh man, we beat Michigan and all that. Yeah, that's great. Like congratulations, Hoosier football. Once you actually had to put up, not going to be there. You ain't got the dogs to fight this thing, man. Like, and it's tough because you're playing against people like Ohio State or the New York Yankees or the Dodgers. You're playing against the University of Michigan, who are also in that spending spree. You're not playing the same game. You're really not. I feel bad. If you're a Hoosier fan, I have nothing but respect for what you guys do, and it's a beautiful university and stuff. But it's one of those. You're not playing the same game, and nor are we as Reds fans. We're a franchise that has to develop our stuff from within, and we can hopefully make a run at this thing once every 5 years or so. But we haven't made that run in 15 years, and it's getting frustrating, and it's tough to sit back. I've seen all of my other teams have success, and that's, as a fan, that's awesome. And I thank God that I have the opportunity to share some of that with my kids, because my goodness, sharing the Cincinnati Reds with a kid right now is really hard. Waking up every morning, my 7-year-old would look at me. Did the Reds win last night?
No.
You don't want to know, man.
It's hard to tell.
You don't want to know. We were, and then Graham Ashcraft blew it. Or it's heartbreaking, man, day after day to have to deliver these guys. So it's crazy. Bug-eyed D-bag from Captain Buckeye. You know what, dude? That cat's eyes do pop out of his head, and I am not the biggest Mike Tomlin guy. So rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now is a lot like rooting for the Cincinnati Reds, except for there's that little thing called the playoffs that we happen to make it to. But I have zero hope that we're not competing for a championship. We're competing for mediocrity. And that's exactly what the Cincinnati Reds are doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a decent comparison. We've got just as many playoff wins as the Steelers do in the last 10 years. So yeah, it's a decent comparison. I see where you're coming from there. Yeah,
and it's one of those that, yeah, we see a lot of the things about ownership and things like that, and you can only spend to what your market makes and things like that. Our attendance is down. Like we have an exciting team. Weather's been awful for getting down there, and so attendance has been down at Great American to start the season. There are some really big gates coming up with the Pete Rose night is a complete sellout. The Snoop Dogg night is a Monday night sellout. Like there's a lot of games that are coming up that are going to pack that place. And like if the team's on a roll, there's going to be some serious juice and energy rolling through Great American here very soon. And so I'm really excited to get into next week and into next weekend, even against the Guards. But I'm excited to see where it can go. But man, we've got to start taking care of business in some of these games where we're getting good pitching. Otherwise, we're going to be in a bad spot here at the end of May. Like we're teetering on not being out of it, but being so far out that you've got to climb in June and July. But like these guys are saying, I'm seeing it in the chat that it is May. And I do need to reassess myself here. We are not even 2 months into this thing. And so we've got to keep it going, and we'll try to stay on the positive note here.
We got to do it. We got to do our. Go ahead.
All right, one positive note: we did pick up a guy in Connor Joe today, who I have always liked ever since he was playing right field and looked like the flying Hawaiian out there in PNC, and he always seemed to kill the Reds. That's going to be a right-handed bat that you can throw in the lineup. But I also think it speaks volumes as to what internally they're thinking. Spencer Steer's struggling. You know, we read off his numbers there a minute ago. He's hitting below 200. By the way, the Mendoza line used to mean something, right?
It used to have some meaning.
I'm starting to become the older guy, but like 200 used to mean like, yeah, that guy's not going to get the Mendoza line. Yeah, Spencer Steer's hitting 187. Yeah, 187.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing from a spot that you should have power, or you should at least not have 187. Like at least at 250. and play first base, which I think is what Connor Joe could do, if given the opportunity. But we're going to see. But that is another probably 4A type outfielder situation that you're going to roll in here and take a chance. And if he can get hot, you know what? Print the jerseys, man. I'll take Joe right on the back.
Especially we can get Spencer Steer to keep being our DSC deep drive of the game. We do need to get to that. Spencer Steer had one of two hard hit balls tonight that was actually over 100 miles an hour from exit velocity. He had a single in the second inning that was 103.5 miles an hour off the bat for our DSC deep drive of the game. Our deep drive of the game is sponsored by Deep South Commodities. DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. And as always, thanks to our friends from DSC.
Yeah, thank you very much, DFC. And that deep drive of the game not going deep enough to actually score any runs is always kind of a comical point to make. But, you get these guys and you have nights where you're off, and we've just happened to do it 12% of the season where we don't bring one through. I do see on a positive note, and we're going to if you put something positive in the chat, I'm going to do everything I can to read it here. On a positive note, Chase Burns is absolutely filthy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And we've got Hunter Green under contract long enough that Chase Burns and Hunter Green should be a thing as a 1-2 punch. So when we're talking about building for the future and what's looking ahead, we love it. I'm really excited. And I think the opportunity there to really build yourself around this staff is there. I don't know what we need to see in order to get that next big splash contract, but it doesn't seem like we want to pay anybody over $70 or $80 million over 3 or 4 years. The years of the Votto contracts and things like that have sunk us in the past seem to be gone. I don't know that. I'm not sure what kind of contract you could give at Matt McLean right now that he would take. I don't know what you could do for Elly right now that he would take that wouldn't lock him up. I mean, these guys are looking for 10 and 12 years. This is going to be their big one that takes care of them for the rest of their lives and, creates generational wealth for them and their families. And they should absolutely hold out for every dollar. But at the same time, this is a market where I'm not sure we're signing anybody for another 10-year deal anytime soon, especially when the guy that you're up in the air about is hitting 258 and is a 0.8 WAR. Thus far in the season, he's going to have to be more in that 2 range where Bobby Witt Jr. is a 2.6, and for my money, I think Witt Jr. is probably the best player in baseball right now. But if you're wanting one of those 10-year deals, if you're wanting that mega deal, you're wanting the Jerks and Profars and things like that, like you're going to have to be that dude that wins more than just one series a year for us. Like you've got to start coming together, and we need to start seeing Elly be Elly. If that means taking more risks and striking out a touch more in order to hit the ball over the fence a couple of times, so be it. Because right now you're playing this cat and mouse game where you've got contact guys in Espinal and Gavin Lux, and that's all well and good. But then you've got strikeout guys in Hines, Elly, Matt, Benson, Fraley, Steer. You've got high strikeout guys that aren't on enough to make the contact guys work. But then your contact guys don't hit for average enough. Jose Trevino has been a flash in the pan. Wins has been on, and these guys that get on, they do a good job. And that's but you want to know why we get shut out 5 games in 45 and 40 games? Because the offense doesn't gel together. You need to either have more than half of them be contact, or most of your guys be swinging for the fences. We don't hit enough home runs to strike out as much as we do, and we don't hit with enough contact to move guys around and win in small ball situations. Not to mention we run the bases like we're blind. So there's so many ways that this thing can go. You have to commit in a direction. And maybe this is calling on Chris Blake, and maybe this is calling on Tito. Somebody's got to get in these guys' head and say, hey, this is who we are as an organization. This is the approach that we're going to take to the plate. Because right now it's just the blind leading the blind. And it's oh man, Reese hit one. That's great. Like that should have won us a ball game, but it didn't. And you just kind of hope and pray. And like I said, the prayers are never answered. So, but we do get one move today. Getting Connor Joe. You want to explain that a little bit more, T?
Got Connor Joe from the Padres in exchange for Andrew Moore, right-handed pitcher, and cash consideration. Connor Joe has not spent much time in the big leagues this year. I think he's appeared in 9 games, I think. So he's only got a handful of at-bats. He's mostly been spending time with the El Paso Chihuahuas. But in 16 games, he's hitting 267, got a 755 OPS. So hopefully he'll bring a little bit of right-handed pop against some left-handed pitching. Kind of gives you a little bit of flexibility with him playing right field and first base. I figure we'll probably see him more at first base with the conundrum we've got at first base right now. So it doesn't have a whole lot of depth to the lineup, but at least it's something, I guess. We're trying.
Yeah, I mean they're making a move. I think they feel the frustration as well. What's kind of interesting is you could kind of read it in Tito's mannerisms last night when they asked him about the Blake Dunn bunt that pushed to first base and ended up eventually getting our ghost runner thrown out at third. He said the bunt was supposed to go to third base. And then they asked the question again, and he kind of buried his answer and goes, the bunt was supposed to, if the bunt goes to third base, none of this is an issue.
That's
and
exactly
you can tell that he's pissed. And the next day, Dunn's gone. And it's like, okay, like we talk about accountability, like there it is. Like we're seeing more and more of it. Now we're shuffling chairs. Like we've got to find a way to let this thing work out. I love that they're letting Reese play. I hope they give Will the same leash. I feel bad for the poor dude because it's a situation where he goes out for one game in San Francisco, strikes out 4 times, and is never to be heard from again until now. Now that he's back, the very day that he comes back, I don't know if it's like a, pull in case of Will Benson showing up, but they pull the string and go get Connor Joe, which is probably going to cut into his bats as well because now Steer's going to have to find a spot in the lineup. So it's one of those, like, I don't know what they've got against Will Benson, but God, just give this guy a little bit of a leash and let him try to win us some games because Willie Beeman can bring some juice. I think I don't know that it's leadership either. There's a difference between bringing energy and bringing leadership. I think you have to look behind the plate with that, and you have to look at a guy like Jose Trevino, who's been on playoff teams and things like that, and try to maybe settle into what he can do. Austin Hayes putting his arm around Blake Dunn the other night and trying to talk him through a situation where he had messed up. I'd love to see that out of Austin, but whoever it is that has to step up and start to lead these guys in the right direction, I'm all for it because right now it's a lot of the blind leading the blind and then passing the buck from one another, trying to hope that somebody else is going to get it taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, how do you manufacture runs besides the one cuss word that everybody's going to scream about is small ball, but I'm not against it, man. I'm not against laying down a bunt every once in a while, try to move guys over, try to shake it up because sitting and waiting for the big hit doesn't seem to be working either. So I understand the percentages are down. Yeah, percentages drop. You can always screw up the bunt or bunt in the air, you know what I mean? That sort of stuff like we saw in the game the other night and back-to-back sacrifice situations. Neither one of them could get it down. But by the same token, sitting and waiting for the home run, sitting and waiting for the big hits, it's few and far between right now. So whatever we got to do to shake it up. I'm not against the small ball thing. I listened to an interview with Valleca. He even said something about wanting to add a little bit of small ball to the philosophy just to try to shake things up a little bit. I'm not living and dying with small ball by any stretch of imagination, but if we're not seeing the ball well, throw that bat head out there and catch it with your hand one time and see if it don't get your batting average going or seeing the ball a little better. And I mean, Friedl's even brought it up himself. When he's lacking, he'll lay down a bunt every once in a while just to spice it up and get things going. Nobody likes small ball. It's not the sexy pick, but by the same token, if we got to change it up, we got to change it up. So whatever we got to do to get this offense rolling.
Chris Ackerman, I see you. They can't bunt, and that's a problem too. You're 100% right. How many times have we TJ Friedl, great at the little pull it into the pocket bunt and take it with the little howdy do down to first base. Like, I love that. Love that situation. Love that he has that in the arsenal, adds to his average, makes him a decent leadoff guy. That's where I like him right now. But when we needed him to lay down a bunt, he couldn't. When Blake Dunn needed to lay down a bunt, he couldn't. In that extra inning situation, if you can get that guy to third, I hate the small ball play for our end because I want that guy on third? Yes. I'm the one screaming for that guy to get to third base with less than 2 outs because then all you need is a fly ball. Our guys aren't good at the fly ball either. The idea of getting a guy to third base, contact that's not on the ground that keeps that run in, or the contact at all because of the high strikeout rates that we have, that's unless it's whoever it is that's bunting is hitting right in front of Santiago Espinal or Jose Trevino, I have zero faith on the next person to get that job done.
I understand that. So how much faith do you have in scoring from second base then? If he's not going to score from third, he sure shit ain't going to score from second base. Excuse my language.
But why give the out up?
Yeah, and I completely understand where you're coming from.
Give me
90 feet is 90 feet.
Cracks at it instead of one. Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from. I'm not going to sit here and bang a ball or small ball drum all day and then get beat up online, but I'm not against it. I mean, I'm not necessarily I don't know. I guess I see it both ways, but whatever we got to do to shake this up. I'm tired of watching the same old stuff. Whatever we got to do, let's do something different. I'm tired of watching the same ineptness night in and night out.
Yeah, and it's brutal. And I mean, hopefully as the warmer weather comes and we get this opportunity to get some of these guys rolling, things loosen up, they start having some fun together, because there's zero pizzazz too. You know what I mean? Like there's just not a lot of hope. You know what I mean? Like we go into the season with hope, and you count on guys to play. It would take career years from several guys in order for this team to win the World Series. Like, let's be real. In order to win a championship or anything of quality, anything that's banner worthy, it was going to take dudes playing out of their freaking minds. We don't get that. If we get these guys at their average, we can probably be in at the end of the year we're a 500 baseball team with the staff that we've got. We're not even. And by not playing to your averages, you're in a situation where now we can expect now the pitchforks are out, and we're starting to chase people out of town. And you can call it what you want, but I don't know, man. It's tough, but I'm still going to buy tickets. I hope you guys are out there buying tickets as well. It's one of those things that in order to get this team rolling, if they do get hot, you're going to want to have these cheap tickets in your pocket. On the 13th, they're back in town against the White Sox, and you can get into the ballpark for $5. That's a Tuesday night. So you get $5 tickets, you get $3 beers, $2 hot dogs, and $1 ice cream. That's a great night at the ballpark. It's also, weirdly enough, I've been down there every Tuesday. That has turned into like the best bar in Cincinnati, because they sold those passes for $50 and everybody got in on Tuesday. So you look up at the Budweiser bar out there in right field, and it is packed full of people because they all bought standing room only tickets. I think they sold a couple thousand of those passes. They actually sold them out. And what they've basically done is paid a $50 cover charge, because you're not getting a $3 beer in many spots in downtown Cincinnati.
Right.
Oh, by the way, you get a Major League Baseball game going on while you're at it. So a lot of college kids, a lot of good people down there at the ballpark, but it's a really cool time to get down there on a Tuesday. But then we turn it over to Wednesday. That's our 514. If that sounds familiar, that is because that is our Pete Rose night. And that is a sellout currently, but tickets are available on Game Time right now at $19. I believe they've got a jersey for everybody in the stadium that night. That is not a bobblehead situation where it's the first 20,000 and stuff like that. Otherwise, you'd have people starting camping out tomorrow for that Pete jersey. But it's one of those, like, if you get down there on Wednesday, I believe everybody in attendance is going to walk out of there with a 14 replica. And we're going to have a really good night celebrating Pete. Then we turn right back around on Thursday, and you can catch a $5 ticket here on Game Time. So get online, find your tickets, go and see our boys at Game Time. Corey, you got some more on those guys?
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said you got some. No, you got some more on the guys from Game Time. I'm giving out prices. All the way into next weekend. You've got the $10 against the Guardians, 16 on Saturday, and 7 on Sunday. So as we take a look at it, you've got the Game Time opportunity here with the Reds that you can get on there and get some things taken care of. I think Corey's going to tell you about what code that you can pull in there.
Oh, give me just a second here, man. I got to pull up my template. I didn't have it pulled up. Sorry.
You're good. That was my fault too. I can't get that back to the email that has our template in there. I know it's promo code CBox, and you get $20 off your first order when you sign up. But there are some extra things that we've got to get into that. So I want to make sure we give those guys justice, because we do love our dudes at Game Time.
Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Chatterbox Sports. The all-in pricing shows you your total fees before checking out. I love the all-in pricing. That's definitely my favorite part. So you know what you're getting into before you get into those last screens, and it adds on $20 you weren't expecting. They got the panoramic seat views in the app, event cancellation protection. That's automatic full refunds for events that are canceled and not rescheduled. The lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CBox for $20 off your first-time purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CBox, CBOX, for $20 off.
And you can get parking on there as well. I'm sitting here looking at parking. Tuesday, $16 parking passes. Wednesday, I believe there's an event at the Heritage Bank Center as well. And so parking passes on here are $61. Do your homework there. Make sure that you know what's coming and going, because with 40,000 people going to the ballpark, traffic gets heavy. They're not used to it as often as they should be. And with there being an event at Heritage Bank as well, that becomes a very congested area. Your East Garage becomes obsolete. The Central Riverfront fills up really quickly. So find a parking pass on game time. Get down there on Wednesday. Celebrate Pete. But then on Thursday, you can actually get back down there and park for $15 if you pull a pass right off of here. So they've got them all. They've got Central Riverfront, East Garage, Central Riverfront West. They've even got that weird lot that kind of turns back in on itself off of Pete Rose Way, available for pass purchase. So get on there, get on game time. Love having those guys on board. Love having the opportunity there. We do have another super chat here from Michael. It says, I'll be there on 514 intentionally in the last row, right field bow tie bar, so I can climb over the back for frosty refreshments. Hey, appreciate that, man. I'm all for it there. I'm not going to be able to make it down Wednesday. I'm sadly enough, but I will be there Thursday, and then my plan is Thursday, Saturday, Sunday next week is when I'll be down at the ballpark. But we'll be talking to you guys again tomorrow night. Would love to know who all is going to be down there. I can I can maybe spot up in bow tie and say hi to some folks. And if you need to tell a Steeler fan that he's a horrible person, like, I can take it. We can do that in person too over a beer. I have no problem with that. But no, we absolutely love you guys. We appreciate you tuning in. We hope that you like and subscribe wherever you're listening or watching this from. If you're on the podcast here on Saturday morning, happy Saturday. Don't forget tomorrow's Mother's Day. But if you're here with us tonight live on YouTube, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We've got 524 people here, which is awesome.
Love it. We love it.
Yeah, man. We're almost doubling our numbers from a week ago. We hope that we're able to be entertaining for you. Tomorrow night we'll come back. We'll be buttoned up and be ready to go. Hopefully it's after a Reds win. We're talking about our boy Brady Singer and the run supports, but that is going to get on. Yeah, if he gets more run support. Now, last time he gets shut out, but so we'll see how it is. But hit that like button, subscribe if you can. We love you guys, and we love being here with you. It's a lot of fun for Cory and I to get a chance to talk Reds baseball, even if it's talk crap about Reds baseball. So, but that's going to do it for us tonight. Cory T, you got anything else?
As always, go Reds.